Wolf chiming in, man. You know, it's appalling at the level of control that the masses of people just fork over to these fictitious entities. You know, I don't like giving out, you know, doing the quotes and, you know, people said this and motherfuckers said that, you know, but I believe in you giving up your freedom and your liberty for security. I believe you don't deserve none of this shit. And you know, like I said, I like to be me. I like to be original. So I don't like to quote things, and you know me, I don't really use the Bible that much, despite the fact that I'm very well versed in the Bible and things like that. I just try to stay away from certain things, including other people's quotes. But the stuff that people allow to happen is just appalling, man. It's just appalling to me, you know. And the reason for why I'm doing this little video is because I've been known about this for quite some time. I have not done a video on this in the past because I do not fly. But this is going to be a video. I'm going to try to do like a two things thingy where I'm going to merge two topics into this one video. Whereas what you're looking at on screen here is about how undercover DEA agents, plainclothes DEA agents at the airports be wrangling motherfuckers. Just straight up wrangling niggas at the departure gate. Right? And I want to also tie in the real ID into this. All right? Just so y'all know where we're going with this and, you know, ahead of time. I like to let people know, you know, what the video go be in store for before I get into it. And luckily for me, this video that we looking at on screen is only 6 minutes and 42 seconds. So I can play a substantial amount of that so you all can listen to this shit and kind of get a gist of where I'm going with this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all already know how I am. Y'all know how I get down. You know what I'm saying? This shit is crazy, man. We're going to open up with this video about how these plainclothes DEA agents just over here, they pirates. They're pirates, man. That's literally what the fuck they are. They're pirates. We're going to get into this shit. We're going to break some stuff down. We're going to tie the Real ID Act into that, and we're going to break some of that down. All right? Let's get into this, man. This is insane.
The people you see behind me are passengers. There appear to be no more drug agents hiding in plain sight. They've been ordered to stop because of one passenger's video that would never have been recorded had he not watched our investigation.
You're going to sign a consent form saying that you're allowing us to search them?
Whatever you guys are doing in this airport,
Or I'm going to detain them,
is totally wrong.
run my dog on it, and get a search warrant.
I'm a random search, guys.
I didn't feel like I could have said no.
So those white folks, and I'm the random search.
And see, just to start off, man, anybody who know me, they will co-sign this when the original law will tell you. I'd have been like, bitch, go get your dog then. And get your cat too. On my mama. Anybody who know me will tell you that. Straight up. Can I search you? Hell no. Straight up. Can I search your car? Hell no. Anybody who know me will tell you that. They'll co-sign that shit. Then go get your dog, your cat, a sniffing pig, and anything else you can find, homie.
No, there's no way this is random.
Innocent passengers searched at the gate by plainclothes drug agents looking to seize cash.
You're taking people's money based off an assumption.
I work hard for my money. How many innocent people do you have to search before you find what you're looking for?
Sir, I've got other safety.
The DEA still hasn't answered our questions, but this 2-year Atlanta News First investigation, why do people have to prove themselves innocent, would lead to a single incident that would end the entire program nationwide.
Oh, that's my... Hey, where's your bag at?
I don't consent to search, sir.
You don't have to consent. Where's your backpack at? Where is it? Under your seat?
It got put away, but I don't consent to being searched.
I don't care what your
this
consent stuff.
So if you don't care, then what is the crime that you suspect me of committing? Because that's the only power that's the only well he can draw his water from. If you make a statement like that as a so-called law enforcement officer, even though we know it's not law, we know that. We're not finna get in there. I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole. But we know it's not law. So now, if you don't give a shit about me not giving you my consent, then that means you gotta have some reasonable suspicion as to why you would ignore that statement and search my shit anyway. All right? So let's just keep that in mind as we going along.
Had you not seen our investigation, what would you have done?
I would have just assumed that it was part of a standard screening procedure and consented to the search.
David recorded the incident on the very same phone where he had watched our investigation in plain sight. He stopped recording only to double-check the article so he could stand up for his rights.
I didn't consent to be searched. Like, I dragged off the plane here. Is that accurate?
Yeah, you walked off the plane. I didn't drag you off. I took your bag off the plane. So
You took the bag off my plane. Okay.
Tell your story straight.
detained, not you.
Yeah, you're trying this legal stuff. It's not going to work, dude.
This particular passenger
But I never heard, and we're going to play more of this video. I never heard throughout this entire video with this encounter with this man where he actually cited the suspicion that he had. Because keep in mind, you all have to keep this in mind. This is very, very, very important. In order for them to ignore all of this shit and then be sarcastic with them, they being cynical. Oh, well, we didn't drag you off the plane. We took your bag off the plane. And it's like, well, I'm going to go wherever my bag go. What are you talking about? Not only that, I didn't give you permission to search it. And from what we all are seeing in the video, it don't look as if he gave him the reasonable, articulate suspicion or whatever the fuck it's called. The acronym is RAS. R-A-S or something. It's supposed to be reasonable, articulable suspicion or something is what it's supposed to stand for. Now, I didn't hear him say it. I don't know if y'all called it or whatever. I mean, y'all could pull up the video yourself on YouTube and watch it, you know what I'm saying, if you want to. But I didn't hear him tell him that, right? And the reason for why I'm bringing that up is because that's the only way you can get around that. If they ask you to search your shit and you tell them no, you know what I'm saying? First off, if they ask you, then that means they don't have nothing. I'm telling y'all that in the gate. I've been through that shit a million times in Chicago. I'm telling you. If they asking you to do this and to do that, that means they don't have shit. Okay? If they ask you too many questions, that means they don't have shit. Okay? So now in a situation like this, it's like, well, you got to tell me what it is that I did wrong in order to draw the water from that well, aka your jurisdiction. AKA your authority or your powers that's granted to you, i.e. by way of the Constitution. Somebody chime in and tell me that the DEA agents don't take an oath of office. All right? Somebody get in the comment section to tell me that. Because if the DEA take an oath of office, then that means they took an oath of office to uphold the Constitution from any threat, foreign and domestic. Well, right now, these motherfuckers are being a domestic threat. So just keep that in mind. This is very, very important. Very important, because this is how you know they pirates. They armed thieves. They're pirates with badges. They're robbers and shit and vagabonds and shit with badges. That's literally what they are. But come on, let's go.
said no, did not give consent,
Correct.
and the task force officer removed his bag from the plane anyway.
And to do that, the agent needed reasonable suspicion.
The Inspector General of the U.S. Department of Justice reopened his investigation of the DEA's airport cold consent encounters after seeing the video David recorded.
We wouldn't do this and be doing it across the country if it was illegal.
Without the subject thinking to immediately use their cell phone to record the event, we certainly wouldn't have known about it. In fact, we clearly wouldn't have known about it because absent that video, there was no record of the incident.
The DEA had no record because agents didn't find drugs or cash in David's bag.
The DEA wasn't keeping records of its encounters unless it found cash or drugs.
And they promised you they would.
And they promised us after our first report a decade ago they would.
So that means if they lied about that, that means they lied about the shit that they do have on record in terms of like the people that they took cash from, right? Because one of the reasons for why I'm making the video is because I've been known about that they do this. Now, they from the videos I've always seen in the past, they was always talking about Atlanta Airport, right? Now, from my own research and understanding, it's not just Atlanta Airport. They do it at a lot of other airports. But because of, you know, Atlanta being what it is and a lot of the people that come through there, and particularly our people, you know, you got a lot of rappers, you got a lot of successful brothers and sisters who come through that airport that got bread. You know what I'm saying? So I've been knew about this. You know, because there's been situations for where when I've seen other videos in the past, they would confiscate their money and let them go. Like they may find, you know, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7,000 or something, and they'll just take their bread and let them go. Wouldn't charge them with a crime or nothing. That's 100% theft. Not only is it 100% theft, that shit is 100% for profit. Because they did, from the research I did, they weren't giving the money back to these people. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. They eminent domain is some shit that should be vaporized. I'm going to say it one more time. That shit they call eminent domain, that, especially with the way that it's been perverted, it should be vaporized, man. It should be no longer. Because that's what they're doing. They're claiming eminent domain when they take your bread like that and they let you go and don't charge you with nothing. Straight up. Now we're gonna tie this into the Real ID coming up, but I want to play some more of this because this shit is stupid, man, for real.
They learned of your latest investigation, they were going back and filling out these reports from months earlier?
It turned out because they hadn't found any cash or drugs when they did the search of that individual, they hadn't prepared any paperwork at the time. When we began our investigation and asked for the paperwork, that's when, months later, they started creating paperwork trying to lay out why they did what they did.
David.
God damn, y'all. I know sometimes y'all hate my profanity or whatever the case may be, but god damn, did y'all hear what he just said? Now all of a sudden y'all want to start getting some paperwork together to pretend like to justify what y'all did. Can you say fucking fraud, man? God damn, I've been screaming this shit for the longest. 7 out of 10 of my videos, you're going to hear the word fraud at least once. They're committing fraud, man. Let's go back 15 seconds. Let's play that again.
Because they hadn't found any cash or drugs when they did the search of that individual, they hadn't prepared any paperwork at the time. When we began our investigation and asked for the paperwork, that's when, months later, they started creating paperwork trying to lay out why they did what they did.
You agreed 10 years ago that you would keep paperwork on every fucking body, whether if you found something or not. You lied about it. You only kept paperwork on the people that you found something on. And even that to me is sketchy, because if you lied about keeping paperwork for everybody and then we found out you didn't, then that means the paperwork that you've given us about the people that you actually did confiscate something from, that shit is probably fraudulent too. But then when we come to you to ask you for this information that you don't have, that you were supposed to have, now all of a sudden you want to wrangle up some fucking paperwork to try to justify why you doing the shit that you did. That shit is fraud, man. I've been telling people this shit for the longest. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck what your knowledge is in. I don't give a fuck how much history you got. I don't give a fuck how much knowledge, history. You could be a historian, a philanthropist. I don't give a fuck what you are. It don't negate the fraud. I don't give a fuck how many books you read. I don't give a fuck what you know. I don't care if you homeless. I don't care if you've been in the military. I don't give a fuck if you live in an apartment complex or a house. I don't give a fuck, man. It don't negate the fraud. All of this shit is fraudulent. And I'm going to tell you something. It's been fraudulent for eons. It was fraudulent when our grandparents was young. It was fraudulent when our grandparents' parents were young. This shit is not motherfucking new. It's not new, and our people are not innocent. Didn't you see the nigga that was standing behind the reporter when he was asking the DEA agent that was sitting there, how many people you got to go through before you actually find something? It was a nigga agent standing behind them, telling them not to talk. Shh, don't say nothing. Some melanated punk standing behind the reporter while the DEA agent was sitting in the chair. He's standing there asking him the question. The fucking other DEA agent standing behind him, telling him, no, don't say nothing. Shh. This is a melanated nigga. This shit is not new. Our people are not fucking innocent, and this shit is disgusting.
David's name was put on a DEA list because he bought a last-minute ticket.
When you buy a last minute ticket, we get alerts.
In some cases, the only reason for the so-called cold consent encounter was a purchase of a last-minute ticket. I purchased a last-minute ticket to come interview you.
Approaching individuals based solely on that basis, without any lead, any other information to suggest they might be a drug courier or money launderer, was concerning.
So you mean to tell me, right, when we just use Atlanta, right, because I got family down there, you know what I'm saying? I got people who actually are in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? So we just say, right, I'm down in Atlanta and shit, the Marietta, Georgia area, whatever, the Atlanta metro city area joint, right? I get a phone call from up here that, you know, I mean, because, you know, like I told you, I got family in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom, my son, You know what I'm saying? I got cousins and shit that's still in Chicago. Like I told y'all, Sean, my cousin Sean from being the Zoom meetings and shit with us. That nigga in Chicago. You see what I'm saying? So here it is. I'm in Atlanta. I get a phone call and, you know, something's going down, you dig? And it's, you know, some sort of medical emergency, somebody injured or hurt. And at the last minute, I book a fucking flight to Chicago from Atlanta, and that triggers some sort of fucking alert, and now you want to come wrangle me? And all I'm trying to do is go see my sick relative, or, you know, some fucking bullshit didn't happen, you know, and it's an emergency, and all I'm trying to do is just go help my family? And because I bought a last minute ticket, this is what triggered you motherfuckers to come and fuck with me? All I can say is, if people worried about my profanity. But anyway, continue.
Inspector General discovered David's last-minute ticket was reported to the DEA by an airline employee who was a regular paid informant.
Now, wait a minute. What is this? What is this Huggy Bear shit? Can you tell me? I'd like to know. I mean, can you tell me? This Sporty James type shit we dealing with. What is this? Really? So you telling me you got an actual person that work for the fuck, and y'all be wondering why I be saying these motherfuckers be agents. Y'all be... You wonder why I tell you motherfucker like Brad Pitt is a CIA agent. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, all these motherfuckers they put in your face like Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is a fucking agent. You didn't know that? You didn't know D.L. Hughley was an agent? You didn't know Oprah Winfrey was a fucking agent, man? Come on, man. Come on now. And I'm talking to my subscribers now. I'm talking to my YouTube subscribers. Y'all didn't know that Oprah Winfrey was a CIA agent? You didn't know that? You didn't know that Tyler Perry worked for the CIA? Come on, man. Y'all can't be that fucking naive. So what you're trying to tell me is you got a fucking employee that he's an actual employee, he or she, excuse me, is an actual employee of Atlanta Metro City Airport, or whatever the fuck they call it. You know, whatever the name of the airport is. It's in Atlanta. They're actually getting paid a salary through these fucking people. And off the record, off book, you got the DEA like, yeah, nigga, just dig. This is what we gonna do. Cause I can see it now. I'm glad I had a tremendous amount of experience with cops when I was young. And when I say young, I'm talking about 13, 14 years old. I was getting my ass beat by cops when I was 14 years old. I'm gonna leave that alone though. I just thank God I got that experience. I can see that now. Motherfucker come up to you. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Anytime motherfucker get ready to board the plane at the last minute and shit, man, just text us. Text us, man, you know, slow down his progress of being able to board and, you know what I'm saying, trip him up a little bit, you know, to slow him down so we give us time to get there, you know. And we're going to give you 5% of whatever we get, or, you know, 10% of whatever we get. How is this not a fucking scam? So who going to come in the comment section to tell me, nah, you wrong, bro, this ain't fraud? I've been telling people this shit for the longest. There's certain things that we need to be focused on, and everything else we could just do away with. There's certain key things that need to be focused on, and everything else we can do away with. This is fraudulent as hell. Here it is. The goddamn person who worked for the airport, they have no connection to the passenger other than the fact that they know that this person is about to board a plane at the last minute. That's even worse than, you know, you being a real informant. Like, cause you know, cops got real informants that are like drug addicts and shit. Like these are real dope fiends and shit. And they pay them. They pay them and this shit is legal. Okay? But a lot of the times, and if not most of the times, that motherfucking informant is connected to this person in some kind of way to be the reason for why they can tip the cops off to a dope bus or some sort of fentanyl bus or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? At least because, you know, these motherfuckers fuck with fentanyl too. You know what I'm saying? They fuck with meth too. So, you know, they know the motherfuckers who the players is and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. From being off on the side, just sitting on the sideline being a meth head. Right? So you can understand that a little bit more when they bring certain people to the cops on some paid informant shit. But with this shit at the airport, it's like, but wait a minute, man, you don't have no connection. You have no idea of anything about nothing when it comes to these people other than the fact that they board the fucking plane or buying a ticket within 48 hours, man. A 48-hour window is how you playing this game. Like, goddamn, man. But that's not fraud. That's not fraud. You can't seem to understand when I'm coming to y'all and I'm saying shit like, hey man, I ain't anti-government and, all this other shit. I just think that we should be putting a lot of these some bitches in prison and replacing them with people who understand that if you fuck up like them, we're going to put you in prison. And it might be for the rest of your fucking life. See, that's what they fear. Them punk motherfuckers fear that shit I just said. And you want to know why? That has nothing to do with violence. That has nothing to do with insurrections and shit. That has something to do with these motherfuckers just being held accountable. That's what they fear. Now, do we need all these law enforcement agencies? Hell no. We could definitely do some downsizing on the government. I mean, that's 100. But to we're just going to eliminate government and, it's like, nah, I need a motherfucker to come pick up my trash and shit, man. Come get this shit. Fuck out of here. I don't want to do it. So it's like, fuck, So I ain't just saying we got to eliminate all of the services and, just get rid of it. No. There is some downsizing that needs to happen. But more importantly than that, a lot of these motherfuckers that's been running the show, these motherfuckers need to go to jail. They trying to put Michael Madigan in jail here in Illinois. Yeah, just do the research on Illinois when it come down to the corruption and shit. And all these governors and shit that went to jail. Motherfucker, hell, they locked up Jesse Jackson Jr. They put Jesse Jackson Jr. in jail. So that should tell you right now. But Michael Madigan, the former Speaker of the House, of the Illinois House, his ass is on trial at the Dirksen Federal Building right now. They got wiretaps and videos and all kind of shit. You can sit back and see these niggas chopping it up like real live mob bosses. Shit crazy, man. I've been telling y'all this shit is fraud. It's all fraud.
Commercial airline employee received tens of thousands of dollars, effectively a cut of the money seized.
It turned out that the individual was getting a percentage of the amount seized on multiple occasions over a longer period of time.
Informants are being paid with confiscated property from searches that the informants triggered with no real evidence. It's obvious why that's a potential abuse and a potential violation of civil rights.
Now keep in mind, I've seen instances where they took their money and let them go. They didn't go to jail or nothing. Now here it is, this motherfucker just talking about some potential abuse and potential civil rights violations. First off, it's the Indian civil rights. If you're talking about the one from 1968, there is a Civil Rights Act of 1964. You got the Voters' Rights Act of 1965. But needless to say, what do you mean potential harm? Potentially violations of civil rights acts. So you clearly hear this man in the background telling Buddy, hey man, I don't consent to no search, which is 100. That's what he's supposed to do. You're supposed to do that. Don't matter if you're a man or a woman, your skin color, eye color, heritage, none of that shit matters. You're supposed to tell him I ain't talking to you and no, you can't search shit. And you're supposed to shut the fuck up after that. Here it is. You talking about potential civil rights violations and abuse. The man said, fuck your rights. We don't give a fuck about you consenting in this, that, and the third, but never told that man with the reasonable, articulable suspicion. However the fuck you say it, right? Never told him that because that's the only way he can draw water from that well. He has to have some legitimate fucking suspicion as to why we can say, fuck your consent and move forward anyway. I never heard that. Doing the little program that they was, that they showing where the two guys are talking back and forth, they never mentioned the DEA officer saying anything to them about what his suspicion was. Even though they know you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to have suspicion in order to do that. But this guy talking about some potential abuse and potential civil rights violations. It's like, well, wait a minute, where's the potential part come in it? It's like, no, those are just civil rights violations. Those are just fucking abuse. There ain't no potential to it. What did we change the definition of potential? We probably did because, we're in the rewriting phase and changing history and shit. So yeah, they potentially probably don't mean what it used to mean. Okay? But it's like, what are you talking about, man? No, they abused the man. They abused the man. They fucked him over just like they did a bunch of other people from what I've seen in the past from different videos. And it was mostly our people too. From videos I've seen in the past over the years, it was mostly our people. The motherfucker taking 5-10 bands from motherfuckers. And these motherfuckers like, no, I'm a music producer. No, I'm a rap artist. And they all, yeah, motherfucker, where the dope at? And they looking at him like, what you mean? Ain't no fucking dope, bro. This is my money. What do you mean? I work, bro. I own a studio and shit. I'm from Atlanta. Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And they take their fucking money and let them go. I've seen this over the years from videos like what we watching now. And this is mostly our people. Look, man. Listen. The Real ID, not only does it lock you further down from traveling, right? It gives them more of the ability to do what they're doing now. See, they want you to be a U.S. citizen. They want you to do all these other stupid ass things to take yourself away from the land. They want a land of foreigners. They want everybody to be placed under a foreign status, or in real terms, placed in the status where they belong nowhere. You know, which is the status that we're already placed in. They trying to place everybody in it, though. We're placed in the status where we're a citizen of nowhere. We don't have a home. That's what being an African and an American at the same fucking time mean for the stupid out here. That's what black mean. Black has never meant anything righteous or prosperous. Never. And when you look at the Real ID Act, what they're trying to do is say that everybody is a foreigner to the land. Everybody is subservient. Okay? Because that's going to give them more of the leeway. See, the situations where people been complaining and trying to sue the DEA and all this other shit, is taking a hold on them. In the beginning of the video, they're talking about, oh, if it would have never been for this guy's video and him watching our video, and this would have never came to surface. It's like, nah, bitch. I'm almost positive you got thousands of people that's probably filed some sort of lawsuit or complaint against the DEA for the shit that they've been doing. Because from my knowledge and my research, this is common for them to do this at airports. It's not just Atlanta. It's not just Atlanta. This is common for them to do this at airports all across the country. Dude even told him that. He was like, the DEA agent, he told him. He's like, dude, we do this in every airport across the country. There's no way we could get away with this. We could do this if it wasn't legal. And it's like, nah, motherfucker, it's not legal. You can't just take some motherfucking body's money and let them go. That's a violation of every motherfucking amendment from 1st to 10. And y'all know those are the only ones I really honor. I really don't fuck with anymore. Anything really else after the Bill of Rights, I don't fuck with. Especially when you get to number 13. Especially when you get to 13. Fuck with none of that shit, man. Because it's all corporate bullshit. The 13th and the 14th Amendment was to make you chattel property. They was telling you in the 13th and the 14th Amendment that the United States was a corporation. And you got motherfuckers over here, yup, I'm a citizen. Sit your dumb ass down. So understand that with this Real ID shit that they got, first and foremost, number one, like I told you, any major company that you know of is government. It could be Boeing. It could be Walmart. It could be Target, Costco, any of these giants that you know about, companies, is the government. It's their shit. This is how they funnel their drug money and child trafficking money and all this other shit that they do. This is how they do it. They have shell companies and front companies. All of these motherfuckers are agents. How is it not theirs? The motherfucker that's way up at the top of Walmart, like a person that you would consider to be the top person of Walmart, that's a CIA agent, man. Mark Zuckerberg is a CIA agent. Come on, man. Look, listen. You're not finna sit here and tell me y'all didn't know that Mark Zuckerberg was a CIA agent. Well, if you didn't know, you know today. Elon Musk worked for the CIA, man. He ain't created shit. Mark Zuckerberg didn't create shit. Nothing. They're all agents, man. They're all agents falling in line, working together in unison to destroy our ass. The Jeffrey Epstein dude was a CIA agent. That's how you know he ain't dead. Bill Cosby worked for the CIA. Sean Puffy Diddy Sean Combs works for the CIA. The fucking other music producer that just died from Motown or whatever, not too long ago, forgot that it was Barry Gordy, I think his name, punk ass nigga, was a CIA agent. We gotta wake up, man. It's like how I told y'all before in closing. I'm gonna get up out of here. Like how I told y'all in closing, man. There's things that can be done that don't involve violence. I keep bringing that up because the whole thing about the violence thing is a trick. That's why people get fucked up at protesters and shit, because they like to link protesters and all that other shit to violence. The whole being violent shit is a trick. For number one, motherfuckers ain't organized. These little niggas from O Block and all that, they don't really want no heat, man. They really don't. Straight up, they don't. The best thing that about to be about a lot of them little niggas from O Block is the fact that they just don't give a fuck. That would probably be the only good thing. But outside that, they don't want the heat. They don't want these entities to bring that rain. They don't. They're not ready for that. We're not ready for that. Now, understand that that's not even a topic. It's not something that should even be on the table as a topic. And the reason for why is because there's a whole bunch of shit that can be done that's so much more broader that you don't even see the violent thing. It's like that option is like maybe on the page 3,682 or something. You know what I'm saying? You still at page 10. Okay? You don't even see that fucking page. That's how far away we are. That's how much work that needs to be done, that can be done before we even get to a page number like that. And that's the reason for why the shit about violence, that shouldn't even be a topic. Defending yourself is one thing, but the whole thing about saying, you know what, we just need to go ahead and just, it's like, nah, man, you might want to sit down, man, and be quiet, for real, before you get everybody killed. Shut up. All right? There's plenty of things that we can do that don't require firing a shot. It don't require you protesting. These niggas from the 60s were some of the dumbest motherfuckers. I just can't see myself walking from here to no fucking where. You out of your fucking mind? I'm not walking from here to Georgia. Fuck you. I ain't doing it. There's so many things that we can be doing that don't require violence, and you standing in front of a place with a picket sign getting hit upside the head and shit. And then not only that, the worst thing of all about protests is that once the protest's over, everything continued to go on the way that it was going. The shit that y'all were protesting about. Nothing stopped. They kept doing the shit. And here it is in 2024. It's like, man, y'all don't see that shit? So I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I just want to put this out here, man. Hopefully y'all can gain something from this, because with the Real ID Act, they're not gonna have to worry about no hoops to jump through and no red tape and all of that, because that federal ID shit, that's what's gonna give them jurisdiction. That's just the bottom line. Now, if you have one, that's on you. I'm not getting one. And that's just the bottom fucking line. That's going to be the front man to your digital currency. And I was telling people all this. When they started, what was this? This is 2024. When was this, guys? Was this back in like 2004, 2005 or something like that? When they first switched over the IDs to where you could scan them and shit with the little barcode on the back? That was back in like 2004 or something when they first started that, right? Maybe 2004, 2006 or something. I told motherfuckers then all this shit was going to be digital. I told people that then. All of this is one step closer to the digital currency and shit. Like, here it is, like, for example, this is how digital currency and the credit score is going to work. This is how this is going to work. Like the guy who's like, hey, man, I don't get consent to search in my bag. You know what I'm saying? When the DEA agent was like, well, you know, fuck your consent. We don't give a shit. Here's how the digital currency and all that shit is going to work with the credit score and all that. When you do that in the future, they're going to shut off everything. They're like, okay, well, fuck you then. They're going to turn around, they're going to walk away. And I'm talking about within 45 seconds, Your whole life is going to be shut the fuck down. Your key won't even work to get in your fucking apartment. You hear me? Because that shit going digital too. You already got motherfuckers who got fingerprint pads and shit to use to get inside their home door and all that bullshit. You got plenty of people who have that. But they don't have no real key or no traditional key to get in their house. Plenty of people have that shit on their house. It's going to get to a point to where you won't even be able to open the doors to your own fucking home. Just because you said, no, I don't consent to search. They're going to be like, okay. Credit card ain't going to work. You can't call Uber. You can't get on public transportation. Nothing. Y'all better stop playing with yourself, man. And I'm not more so talking to my YouTube subscribers because I believe a lot of you guys know. But I'm just talking about anybody else who choose to pop in and watch some of my shit and criticize my language and all that other shit. Y'all better stop fucking around. You better stop just paying attention to my profanity, man. I'm telling you. Because I'm making strides now. I don't have time. I'm making strides now to do what it is that I need to do. This is one of the reasons for why it's taking me so long. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I got evil forces working against me. I can feel the force trying to keep me here. I feel it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm dealing with these demons. I'm fighting these motherfuckers. Y'all better stop playing, man. It's the original Lone Wolf, man. I'm out.